Morning so far. One-on-ones with clients. Lots and lots of different things to do. But I'm here. I am consistent. I'm live. And I'm happy to be here delivering content as always. Make sure you say hello if you're on. Be good to hear from you. Drinking plenty of water. So, who's on? Say hello. It'd be great to hear from you. How are we all doing? It's Monday and it's beautiful weather outside. It really, really is. So I'm going live across YouTube Live, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Adam says, hi, mate. How's you? I'm good, thanks, mate. Anastasia says, hello. Hello. Hollyoaks. 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 Hey, how are you doing? You all right? I hope you're well. Let me know if you are around on Facebook, etc., etc. Good morning. Yep, that'll do. We'll take morning. Sarah, I hope you're well. So I'm seeing. What I always do is I always create content based on what I see from actors, because obviously I'm trying to feed in and be incredibly useful and helpful and give really, really good value to help actors succeed. And the only way I can do that is obviously by surveying and seeing what problems people are having. And one of the problems I'm kind of seeing is people struggle to fail. People struggle to fail? No, people struggle with failed auditions, you know? Right, I've done this audition, that audition, and I'm just not getting them. And this is when actors give up. This is when actors, throw the towel in and go, right, this isn't for me. I'm not doing this anymore. And what I wanted to do was feed you an incredibly good piece of advice that's really going to help you come to terms with what the reality of the industry. Okay, Adam says, I do love watching your lives, mate. Oh, Adam, that means an awful lot. I really appreciate that. Still carry on if you've joined us. Say hello. It'd be great to hear from you. So let's break this down. I always say that because that's the only way you can do it. But actors have a specific job role, and that job role is actually not to just do acting work. Actually, part of your process and your job is to do auditions and is to actually, inverted brackets, fail at auditions. It's like that is part of your job. So if you're not enjoying, this sounds really ridiculous, but if you're not enjoying failing at auditions or not getting the role, and I'm going to stop using the word fail in a minute because I'm going to turn that around. But if you're not enjoying not getting auditions, then you're not enjoying your job. All right. So what we really need to do is change our thinking. And I've actually got some really kind of palpable direction for you on how to do this. So the first thing you need to do is, if you're an emerging actor and you really, really want to get towards that kind of big role, what I want you to do, and you can do it right now, do it in the notes on your phone, all right? Write down how many auditions you think it's going to take before you get to that role. You know, and what you're doing is you're kind of saying to yourself, look, I do expect to do at least whatever the number is auditions before I get to the role, or get towards the upper echelons of roles that I expect to be getting. And then, as a technique, what you're doing is really you start to get excited about ticking off auditions. All right. Suddenly you realize that it's part of the process. Right. Tick off. I'm just one more audition on the way. Okay. As well. Good. We've got the numbers coming up. 150. Absolutely. You have to just tick these off. Now, from my experience, chances are, whatever you think that is, it'll take less, but at least you're happy to fail forward. And that's what it's called. Nobody ever achieves anything without failing. Failure is not a frightening thing. Failure is what gives you the lessons that you need to learn in order to succeed. You need to fail. Now, when mindset wise, when you genuinely have big goals, big targets, big dreams, big aspirations, you need to realize that you need to fail. You need to fail. Success comes when you become the person that achieves those things. And in order to achieve those things and become that person that achieves those things, it's the failure that actually changes you. People say to me, when I say that, I call it acting as if. You have to change and become a different person in order to achieve different goals and targets and dreams. This person that you are now doesn't achieve those goals and dreams. I'm sorry, it doesn't. In order to achieve bigger goals than you actually have right now, you have to become a different person. What is it that makes you become a different person? Failure. Okay? Failure. Even going through a bit of a process of struggle. That's what makes you become a different person. Then you achieve other things, bigger things, some might say. So, failure is by far one of the greatest tools that you have, because every failure gets you to adapt, to change, to learn, and then you become a different person, and then you genuinely get the things that that new person that you've become is able to receive, because you right now are not able to receive the things that you want to receive. It takes failure, it takes changing. Okay, let's read some of these comments. Thank you so much, really appreciate it. So we've got the numbers: hundreds, 50, 200, 300. Lee says good strategy. Thank you so much. Adam says as many as it takes. Adam, what I would suggest though is putting a number on it, because you genuinely want to realize that you're ticking off and you're being kind of with this strategy, you're actually seeing the numbers and you're actually not frightened of those ticking off those particular failed auditions. But they're not failed auditions, are they? Okay, Sarah says, oh my god, I love this mindset already. Absolutely, mindset is everything in acting. I love actors. Actors genuinely have some of the most resilient personalities, are able to cope with so much more than the average person. And to put yourself in such a position, because acting in terms of your mindset is incredibly tough. Actors, you are amazing people. Never lose sight of that. Okay. Emmanuel says, I expect to get rejected at an audition. That's why he's a cope when it comes to so that it can move in on easier. We've discussed this, Emmanuel. All right. I don't think you should expect to get rejection. I just think that you should, when it happens, deal with it at that point. Because I think sometimes if you're leading up to it expecting rejection, that could sometimes just maybe get you to take the foot off the gas. You have to hit it 100 miles an hour. You have to somehow have a level of expectation. But then when it doesn't happen, then mindset wise, you're going to deal with it and you're going to say, right, well, it's one ticked off the list. I've learned from it. This is brilliant. Fantastic. I reckon I didn't get it, but I reckon it might be, I might need to either do a better tape. I might need to do this. And then it just tick it off the list towards your big goal. Kezia says, absolutely. And the inspirational Jane Masters proves your mindset principle today. Look her up, everyone. Kezia, wow. Supporting your fellow actor. Love that. That shows that students of mine at MZA have the greatest mentality ever. I teach my actors to support each other. And I've just had a perfect example of that, of Kezia coming on here and telling you to check out another actor based upon the fact that Jane Masters does inspire a lot of us. Jane Master doesn't mind anybody telling us this, but she was told when she was younger that she had things like learning difficulties and stuff like that. But she is one of the best actors within my organization, and she is using all of these principles, and she's succeeding and she's doing incredibly well. You're absolutely right, Kezia. Kendall says, you know, when you are nervous in auditions and they ask you things, you get butterflies, and then I got scared when they asked me something That is normal. But do you know what? That first audition when you get those butterflies and then you've realized that those butterflies and those nerves have stopped you from succeeding. This is what I mean about becoming a different person. You then, after that, you then realize that you have to do something to deal with those nerves, and you do, and then you go to the next audition and maybe it goes well, maybe it doesn't, but you are always learning, and that is fine. Okay, facing your fears, becoming more resilient, you can do that in other ways than just waiting for the audition to turn up. You can make yourself a stronger, more resilient person by just putting yourself in the way of fear, doing things that frighten you, and then you know that when you get to an audition you're more resilient. Okay, let's have a look. Great point, by the way, Kendall. Um, the Enigma says, "What would you suggest when you get to your number and you still haven't got the job?" Great, great, great. I love that. Fantastic. What I would suggest is that you've set a number. Decide whether you think that number. Set another number. All right. But never, ever, ever put yourself in the situation where you ever turn any of this into thinking that you and personalize it and thinking that you have failed. You just have not. You're doing something that very rarely people dare do. You're putting yourself in a situation where so many people wouldn't put themselves in the way of that amount of fear. You must have massive resilience. And at the end of the day, the things that you're learning all the time are setting you on the right track. And it's about changing your perception, regardless of the number, regardless of how you go about this particular technique that I'm teaching actors that are kind of emerging. I just want you to realize the mindset principles attached to it so that you're not kind of coming out of it feeling like some type of failure or feeling, you've got to switch this around. This is part of the journey. An actor has to audition and has to be knocked back. It's just part of the job. If you don't like being knocked back, you're not an actor, because that is genuinely the job. Enjoy it. Enjoy every aspect of the job. Let's have a look. Hi, Sir Stephen. I hope you're well. Taking control. I'm scared of rejection, and then you get called up to go for the top 10 people left. Kendall, rejection, you are not alone. Let me tell you about rejection, Kendall. Rejection is by far the most frightening thing for a human being. Why? It goes back to prehistoric times, basically, when if we were to be rejected by a group of other humans, we would be left out and we would die. Okay, so that's why humans have this innate fear of rejection. It's totally natural. What you have to do is understand it. You have to understand those feelings when they emerge. You usually find that those feelings are not really warranted to the level that maybe you're feeling it. All right. So if you feel rejected because somebody doesn't want you for a role, you have to realize that this is just your human emotions playing up just a bit too much. It's not real. You're not actually being rejected. You're not going to die, basically. Okay, that's why we struggle with rejection as humans. It's actually our worst fear. All right, actors have to deal with this on a daily basis and become quite resilient to it. We really, really do. But it's a process, Kendall. It's a process. But working out the kind of mindset of it and understanding that rejection, how it works from a human perspective, is a good start, and it will really help you move forward with this idea of rejection. Okay, but it sounds like you're doing incredibly well, Kendall. It really, really does. That you're kind of in the mix for a lot of these roles. It sounds like it's going the right way. It really, really, really does. Emmanuel says rejection is part of the process. You have to learn how to deal with it in this industry. 100%. You have to enjoy it. I know it sounds stupid. You have to enjoy the process. If you're an actor, it's part of your job. It's part of your job description. Literally, it's part of your job description to get to audition for roles and get knocked back. You have to find a way just to enjoy that, to be part of the process, to say, hey, well, what are the lessons I can learn? And be positive about it. Absolutely. Last thing I'm going to say on this matter is probably the most important, and that is, guess what? I can 100% give you something now that will ensure that you will never fail as an actor. You won't fail. Okay? How exciting is this? But here's the thing. You can only ever fail when you give up. Think about that. You can only ever fail when you give up. So the trick is never to give up. If you're one of these people that's frightened of what people might say, oh well, you've failed, you've went out trying to be an actor and you've failed. Don't let them win. Never fail. Never give up. Simple. And that's the important bit. And make a contract with yourself. If these goals, these dreams, these aspirations that you've got, literally make a contract with yourself right now to say, right, well, I'm never going to fail because I'm never going to give up. And I promise you, that's the key. Okay? And people who make that contract with themselves don't ever give up. And success becomes inevitable. How can it not? Okay? Right. I hope you enjoyed that content. We had a Facebook user, fear of failure held me back for literally decades. Love a bit of failure now. So freeing. Amazing. Love that. Really need to hear this now, Matt. Thanks. Thank you so much. I'm afraid I can't see your name, but thank you so much for commenting. I hope everybody got a lot from this content. I'm going to be doing lives all week, so make sure you look out for it. As well as that, I've got free acting classes, trials for MZA, Matt Zena Acting, starting in September. So DM me your email address. I'll get a free acting class to you. We're also starting the Matt Zena Academy. So if you're a more experienced actor and you want to work with me personally, we've got a Get Seen Academy where basically every single month we're going to have people from the industry, not just talking, but actually watching our actors perform, seeing them at work. And if you want to get involved with, and you are a more experienced actor, get in touch, DM me, let me know that you'd like to get involved in September. We've got so much going on. Follow my Linktree, Matt Zena. There's so many ways. We've got an online course, digital online course, more content, YouTube channel, so many ways to get involved. But thank you so much for watching. If there's ever anything you need, and I hope you've been inspired